would Bobby Eaton bleach his hair?
In the last waning weeks, I believe that we were in Dallas. Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was sometime when we were in Dallas. And boy, when he didn't tell me he was going to do it, I didn't care. But when he came in the one night, I'm pretty sure it was in Dallas because I remember going, holy shit. He's like, well, it was TV, like in the Sportatorium or something. And now that we were because it's hard to remember this now from perspective, but even though we made a massive step down in terms of money and the people that were seeing us live in the arenas from Mid-South Wrestling to world class, we made a big step up on television because even though the Mid-South ratings in its territory were fucking ginormous, world class by that point had the syndication. So they were in like 60 or 70 markets around the country. And, so more people were seeing us now on TV. So that's when we actually, Bobby bleached his hair. And I think the boys started going to the tan bed too for a little while because we were in Dallas. So fuck until 5 o'clock most days. We'd gone from living in our cars in Mid-South to working 5 or 6 nights a week in Dallas. And sometimes 2 or 3 days a week, we wouldn't leave the house till 5 o'clock because you'd be right there in town. So the guys actually tanned. I actually, that's the first time I went to a tan bed was in Dallas, Texas, when they said, oh, you ought to get some color for TV. I mean, literally, if I was an outdoorsman, I wasn't going to get a tan in Mid-South Wrestling unless I had a fucking sunroof that I could open in the car, right? You just weren't. You were never outside except if you were driving. So I go to the fucking tan place and there's the bed. And that was in the days, I don't know if they still do this because I know it doesn't show, but I have my own tan bed in the tub room. I don't ever get in it, but they'd set your time at the desk, right? And you walk back in the booth and when you get ready, then you get in there and you press the button and the tan booth starts. And well, I'd never seen one of those fucking things in person before. I laid down in it and I hit the button and it starts. And as I'm laying there, I'm thinking, well, now how's this? I understand how I'm laying on this bed and I see the bulbs right next to me all in even fashion. So I can understand how that'll tan my back, but why is this on the top? They're fucking facing straight up and out. I didn't know it was a lid. They're facing straight up and out. It doesn't say, well, maybe that's not to burn me in my sensitive facial area. And then when I was getting out, I saw some goddamn graphic on the fucking wall that illustrated that you had to close the top of the fucking thing. I didn't know that.
So you tanned your back?
I tanned my back the first time. But see, in Dallas, Texas, we had time to do shit like that because they didn't treat us like workers like slaves and they didn't pay us like stars. So anyway,
the only time I could remember off the top of my head you having a really good tan on TV, I guess would have been 88.
And actually, I think I went through another little spurt of that, and also because I went on a diet because of the bashes. Dusty gave me I'd already in January that year. I was a very fat and pasty person, and I was faced with either buying new clothes, bigger, or going on a diet, and I had to sub from when I was smaller, right? And so I started on a diet intending to lose about 20 pounds because I was about 250. I started on a diet and I'll lose 20 pounds. But then when we were having the program with the Fantastics, Dusty gave me about 2 months notice. Says, okay, kid, the thumb at the bash is going to be, you're going to be wrestling the Fantastics in the bunkhouse matches. That's the way he wanted to blow it off after the bash pay-per-view where they would win. Midnight would win the belts back from the Fantastics when I would be hung in the cage. But almost all the other bash, except for 2 or 3 scaffold matches in house shows that we did, it was out of 44 days, we worked 41 times, and 30 of them were me and Bobby and Stan in a 3-on-2 bunkhouse tag match with the Fantastics where they'd beat me every night. So I at least had like 8 weeks notice. So I went on another super duper. I mean, I was down to where I'd get the goddamn fish sandwich from McDonald's and throw the fucking bun away and just eat the fucking anything I could do. Right. And I lost 50 pounds. I got down to 200 pounds at the start of the 88 Great American Bashes. And then went on the run, and I had a bit of a tan and everything, and I looked good. And then 7 weeks later, 44 days, right? So 7 weeks later, when we finally finished all that shit, or 6 weeks later, I should say, I had gained, because even though I was working 20 minutes a night, sweating in those matches and arenas all over the place, we were doing nothing but eating on the road because we were only off like 3 days in that period of time. I'd gained 12 pounds back. I said, fuck, I can't stay. I couldn't retain that level of skinniness no matter what I did. But by God, I was jacked at the start of it.
You look good in 88. You look slim. You look tan.
And hey, steroid free too, baby.
Well, we don't have any proof of that. Your word isn't worth that much.
I'll let you know.